All right, we are still in الناقص in Sarf, مثل العزي, unstable third root letter. And today we're going to cover an important case. And really, it's a basic case, not an advanced case, but it's an important case for the beginners. He says, may Allah have mercy upon him. وَيَسْتَوِي فِيهِ لَفْظُ جَمَاعَةِ الذُّكُورِ وَالْإِنَاثِ في الخطاب والغيبة في الخطاب والغيبة جميعا. Equal in it, in the form of the verb, in the appearance of the verb, in this kind of verb, that is. The naqis is the wording, the pronunciation of the masculine plural and the feminine. The masculine plural and the feminine. We're talking about verb here, not talking about the noun, not talking about like yaf'alun, muslimun, muslimat, not talking about this masculine plural and feminine plural. We talk about the verbs, meaning how the pronouns attach to the back of the verb. How does the verb look? The wording, the lafz, the utterance of the masculine plural, jama'ati dhukur, and the feminine plural, al-inath, are the same. Yastawi, fil khitab, for the in address. Address. Which so-called person is that? What they call person in English? That is second person. You. Khitab is for you. Because khitab is address. Address means speaking to someone. So what's the name of the one to whom you speak? The name of the one to whom you speak is you in English. For all genders, all numbers, and all positions in sentence, all cases. You came. I saw you and passed by you. You and you, not just you when I say you, but all of you. So, but in Arabic, it's going to vary. Anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. That's each one of those is called mukhatab, addressee. The one you are speaking to. They call it in English second person. So the source noun is khitab. So these verbs for the masculine plural and feminine plural, they are equal in pronunciation for second person and third person. I don't prefer to call it person, though. I'm just doing that for your sake, to make sure it's very clear for you. Ghaiba, which is absence. Absence. Ghaiba. Question for you. Absence from what? Absence from what? Why the third person is called ghaiba? Absent from what? Why?
Absence from the conversation?
Yes, correct. Absence from the conversation. Meaning he's the one being spoken about, not the one being spoken to. Therefore, he is not in the conversation. Correct. You say, Hua, I'm talking to you. You are listening to me. The conversation is between one and two. He and she, they are not in the conversation. Those are ones who are absent from the address. يعني غائب عن الخطاب. غائب عن الخطاب. Absent from the address. Doesn't mean absent from the setting. I'm not talking about the setting here. They could be right there. You might say, hey, I'm right here. You could talk about me in front of my face. Okay. ويختلف التقدير. So the wording is the same, but the implication and the intention is different. فوزن جمع المذكر يفعون وتفعون. Okay, so first of all, he didn't give an example here up till here. Like what? Like you say, هن يعفون. هن يعفون. And you say, هم يعفون. So the lafz is the same, the wording. But the taqdir is different, which is what's in the heart, what the heart intends. So he tells us, what's the difference? Wait, why? How? Well, this is going to answer. What he says is going to answer my question. فوزن جمع المذكر يفعون وتفعون. Here, you say also, أنتن تفعون. What does this verb mean, by the way? Anyone know? Tell me, please, what this verb means. When you say أنتم.
To you, you plural, antum.
The verb.
عفوا تفعل. Let me remember. It's in the dua, mashallah, the dua of Lady Aisha. I'm trying to remember the meaning exactly.
Yes.
Um,
Can you tell me the masdar at least?
let me see. عفوا. No, I would be guessing right now. Mashallah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought, but I was like, I'm guessing.
العفو.
No.
Pardoning. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني. That's the dua of Aisha.
نعم بارك الله فيك.
آمين وفيك. هن يعفون. They pardon. That's women. Hum ya'fun. They pardon. That's men. Or at least one man with women. Antunna ta'funa. You pardon. Feminine, plural. Antum ta'fun. You pardon. So the lafl, the wording or the expression or the pronunciation is the same. So the difference is the taqdir. So he tells us, فوزن جمع المذكر يعفون وتفعون. The pattern of the masculine plural is yaf'un. Let's pull up the board here. Okay. Home. Ya'fun. So let's investigate here. We need to find all original letters and all extra letters. Yani, we want to establish the wazn here. So the ya is extra. That's the mudari letter. The ayn is original. That's the fa of the word. The fa is original. That's the ayn of the word. The wow is here not the original wow. That's the pronoun. And then the noon is the sign of rafa'. So we are left here with only two original letters. Third letter is omitted. That's the chapter we're in now. Naqis. That unstable third root letter. So it means that the origin of Ya'fun, you probably knew, you understood, inshallah, is Ya'fuun. Ya'fuun. That's the origin. So what happened? For one reason or another, this dhamma on this wow is removed. When I say one reason or another, means either it's erased because it's heavy on the wow, simply, or we first erased the dhamma in front of it on the fa and then relocated this dhamma over to the fa, leaving the wow for sukoon. Then we'll have two sukoons in a row. So either we get rid of the dhamma on the wow in the first place without relocating it. That's going to give us two sukoons in a row. Or we're going to get rid of the dhamma on the fa. That's called what? Would you call that removal of the haraka, please? What is the name of the removal of the vowel? The Sarfi terminology. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I mean, it's a half of haraka.
This is not hadith. It's something else.
Removal of the vowel, you said, Ustad?
Correct. Has another name.
The إعلان.
Starts with a scene.
Let me see. This knows. Sal haraka. Oh,
Salb, yes.
yeah, you wrote it, mashallah, yeah.
Salbul haraka. Yani, just withdrawing it, taking it away. Taking the haraka away. This is the same word that we learned in Aqidah. Allah has what? What's one of the categories of the 13 attributes? Talbiyah. Those are the negating attributes. The negating attributes. We simply removed the haraka. Salbul haraka. Yani, so either that's what happened. Either the dhamma that was on the wow was sulibat, removed. Then we got two sukoons in a row and therefore removed the first wow, which is the lam of the verb, or the dhamma of the fa was sulibat, removed, and then the dhamma of the wow slid over to it, leaving the wow with a sukoon, and then we have two sukoons in a row, and therefore the first one is removed. And then the result will be ya'fun. And for the addressee, that's going to be ta'fun. The wazn is ta'fun. Taf'un, sorry. The wazn is yaf'un. That's for the absent. For the addressee, the wazn is taf'un. Okay, so what about for the women? You say hunna ya'funa. How'd that happen? In this particular case, actually, nothing happened. This word is 100% on its original case. It has no irtilal whatsoever. And the pattern of yaf'un is yaf'ulna. The ayin fat wow here, that's your original letters here. Nothing happened here at all. And then we came with the pronoun for the women. So it was yafu, that's the verb. Afa, the maldi is afa. So the mudariya is yafu, like da'a, yad'u. Yani, it's going to be the same thing. So you'd say, hum yad'un, and hunna yad'un. That's the rule. So this is really basic rule here. This is not advanced case, but it's an important rule for the beginner. Yeah. And you say, antum tad'un, and antunna tad'un. So I think that's clear. That's the whole case right there. And what came in the Quran? Illa an yafun. Here's the ayah. If you remember from the Qatrun Nada lessons. Illa an yafun. Unless they pardon. Who's they here? The women. Where's their pronoun here? The noon. Why the noon didn't go away here? Because of N. Because that's noon niswa. That's the women's noon. That's not the other noon. When you say about men, ya'fun. This noon is the sign of rafa, being in a nominative case. And therefore, if you were to say N, you'd say N ya'fu and remove the noon. Had that been for men, it would have been illa an ya'fu. When we saw their N and the noon stayed, then we knew that that's the noon, the women's noon. And that the wow there is not the masculine pronoun. That wow right there is the original third letter of the verb. Amazing how consistent Arabic language is. The depth of its consistency, the extent of its consistency. And actually, the formula is simple also. Well, yeah, when I say the formula is simple, meaning you have single letters and doubled letters. Doubled letters, shadda. You have single vowels and extended vowels. You know what the extended vowels are. And you have masculine and feminine. And you have singular, dual, and plural. And you have, talking in English here, nominative case, accusative case, genitive case, jazm case, jussive case, or voice, and other features. All of that working in conjunction like a very fine oiled machine with very few exceptions to the rule. And when there's an exception to the rule, it makes it easier. The exception to the rule in Arabic makes it easier, not more difficult. So back to the text here. So here, we explained everything he said. وَيَسْتَوِي فِيهِ لَفْظُ جَمَاعَةِ الذُّكُورِ وَالْإِنَاثِ. Equal in this is the wording of the plural of males and females in address and in absence, both or all. ويختلف التقدير. However, the implication is different. فوزن جمع المذكر يفعون. And so the pattern of the masculine plural is yaf'un or taf'un, meaning the third root letter is deleted. ووزن جمع المؤنث يفعلن وتفعلن, meaning that the third root letter is the waw in these instances. There's going to be a bummer in front of it. So what appears is an extension, and then there's going to, with a sukoon, an extension with a sukoon, and then there's going to be the noon after it. So we'll give someone, only a beginner though, a wrong impression. In reality, there is no change or alteration or transformation to this verb in this case in any way whatsoever. Any question?